Hi, this is Lorena, and I wanted to do also a tutorial for you who do not have a long arm quilting machine. You can still do heart feathers on a domestic sewing machine. And so here I am. Let me say what you're going to need, your supplies. The machine gingers, those gloves. You're going to also need a super slider and your quilting foot. And I'm sorry my hands are in the way. But what I decided to do is on the other heart feathers tutorial, I have how I drew the heart feathers. Now, I do recommend that you practice how to draw the heart feathers on regular paper and that you play with the different styles that I showed. And so here what I decided to do is go ahead and draw the heart feather on a piece of black fabric, and I'm going ahead and just following the drawn lines like you would as if you were a little kid. Now I promise you this is also my second time on my regular sewing machine trying to do this process of quilting on a domestic sewing machine. And so I have it going pretty slow so that you could see that I'm just slowly following that line to try to stay as consistent as I want. And in a minute, I'm going to start running the machine at a little bit of faster pace. Now, as you see me here, I'm going and following and tracing that line. I do recommend that you're very patient in this process as you're quilting these different following these different lines in quilting and be very calm and peaceful, and this does take a lot longer on a domestic sewing machine. But this is my second time on my sewing machine trying to do some of the skills that I do on my long arm. So you know what, it is possible. You can do this. I just recommend that you just are peaceful, you put some soft music, and that you enjoy the process of it. And here you just see me going ahead and following that line and repeating the arc. But I recommend initially that you do this on paper a lot, that you draw anywhere, doodle heart feathers everywhere, practice, try different styles, try different versions, meaning do big feathers, small feathers. Just try to your liking and just play around. The one thing I do recommend when you're drawing is to not lift your pen, because every time you lift your pen would be you cutting off the thread on the sewing machine. And so you don't want to cut off the thread that much. You want to just have a continuous sewn line, and it also saves a lot more time if you do it that way. So here you see me just doing the heart feathers on a domestic machine. It is not that hard. I promise you, this is my second time. If you practice the things, if you practice the arc, the C curve, if you practice loop-de-loops or letter A's, if you just practice. Now, I didn't practice at all, so you could see a lot of wobbling, and here I ran out of my bobbin, and I'm changing the bobbin and starting over again. And here I am restarting that line again. And I really think you could do this and enjoy the process. Now, this is my second time, so my lines aren't perfect. And I think after a little bit of a time, because it was taking so long, impatient Lorena wanted to hurry up and do this. But I had to really learn to just be peaceful and keep going. And so I want to really just keep encouraging you to play. That's how I'm looking at this. I'm not having a lot of expectation on myself. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I know I'm able to do it on the long arm quilting machine. I just wanted to see, like, challenge myself. I'm one of those people that likes challenging myself, and I recommend you make a challenge for yourself. Initially, if you're on a long arm on a domestic machine, just challenge yourself to do great arcs. And then challenge yourself to do great C curves, and practice at least once a week or twice a week, however you want to practice. Like, I haven't practiced, I didn't do any warm ups. And I just wanted to see, like, okay, Lorena, you did this the other day. Let's see if you could still do this and see if you can do a feather. Now, it's not perfect. It isn't supposed to be perfect. I also recommend that you save your scraps. Like, this is going to be a scrap that I'm going to save and put in a drawer, and I'm going to date it. And maybe a year from now, as I have these little scraps everywhere, I want to see how well I've improved in this skill and if I've grown. And I have like a testimony, almost something to show that, okay, this is where I started, and I'm going to have other quilting designs to see the improvement. And I'm not expecting any perfection. As a matter of fact, I'm expecting a lot of imperfection. I'm expecting myself to really struggle, and that's a good thing because then I have somewhere to start from. I also recommend that anything you do, especially if you're practicing, do it on dark fabric. Make sure that you do your practices on dark fabric with a light thread. Like here you see me doing it on black fabric. The reason you want to do stuff like that is because you want to see your mistakes. You want to see what you need to improve on. I hope you like this tutorial and I really do hope you have a wonderful day. So I'm giving a shout out to those who just have sewing machines. You can do it too.